didn't we just end up charging him the actual lawn cutting?
The
Cost
one you're thinking of, Madam Chair, is...
Waive the administration?
Yeah, they had multiple ordinances that compiled over a period of time. And so there was one charge that they kept ignoring and ignoring and ignoring. And they brought that to the city council for review. The council agreed to just charge them their base original amount and forgive the past penalties. With this particular case, and that was Dave Greco's question, is until we actually see all the ordinance charges, could this be just the one charge that has been accruing interest over time? And I don't know that answer yet. So I think once we hear from our prosecutor, then we'll have better direction for council.
Okay. There's a resident on the Van Woods on the south side of the street at Beach Daily. Isn't the case that you take oversee now?
Ordinance?
Yeah. There's a weeds up to some of these needs there, and that's a nice neighborhood.
Do you have the address? We can send the Keith and everyone go look there.
I don't know the number, but it's right at the corner of Beach Daily and Van Woods. You can see it from Beach Daily.
Maybe see who's working that quadrant in Wiccan Beach Daily area.
What's the ordinance, sir?
Weeds.
Oh, weeds, no problem.
You said it's visible from beach?
Yeah, it's right on the corner of Beach and Van Woods. It's like the south side of Van Woods. Okay, number 13. This is to set the date for a public hearing for the special streetlight assessment districts. We have a map on the round table in the city council offices that is all color-coded by the districts and the actual costs per district that Jerry has provided for us. If you have an opportunity to look it over, he's done a lot of work on it. And so if you have any questions right now, that would be great. Otherwise, have a look at it and we can ask him about it because the date will be we're shooting for the 18th, right?
Correct. And for the 18th, what Madam Chair is hold a public hearing for necessity only.
Necessity.
The actual cost I'm going to bring to council on November 1st.
Okay.
So that way, public hearing, we have to notify the taxpayer that we are holding a public hearing to determine if there's a need to spread costs for the streetlights. And then 2 weeks later, we actually hold a second public hearing to adopt the cost.
So I guess the residents are going to come not knowing what the cost is, and then we're going to have the cost after the public hearing?
No, it's a good question, Councilman. What we are going to be doing, again, I have another request to council. We're going to be mailing letters out. We have roughly 19,000 residents. 18,718 when St. Hall and I did our last count. So we're rounding up to 19,000 as a round number. Residents pay streetlight special assessments. So our intent is to mail out letters by this Friday to the taxpayers, informing them that the city council is meeting to discuss streetlight, public hearing to streetlight for necessity, if we should charge a cost for it. Once that's been approved at the October 18th meeting, then we'll immediately send out a second letter. Council has approved the need for necessity, and here is your cost. And it will be, and cost will then be set at the November 1st city council meeting.
Are you going to put in there that DTE is putting a 5% increase on us, correct, the city of Taylor?
I can add that.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
So if we went with a 5%, it would be a pass-through like water and sewage and anything like that.
Correct, and what we're going to enforce or try and, not really enforce, but make the taxpayers aware that this is not a new special assessment.
Right.
It's a continuation of what they've been currently paying.
That's what I was gonna just bring up. This is not a new special assessment. This assessment expires this year, and I believe it was a 20-year assessment?
12 years.
12 year, okay. So this would, in theory, be similar to a renewal.
I think that needs to be very clear when we're doing this, because I think people immediately assume that it's a new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that,
So-
yeah, and that's what he's saying. Number one, we gotta decide as a council that we're gonna renew these
Right,
districts,
exactly.
right? And then the costs change each year based on what DTE charges us. So you make a good point about not knowing the cost, but every year it's gonna change based on what our electrical costs are. So the first thing we gotta do is say, unless we can come up with $1.5 million from somewhere else, we need to do what we've been doing the last 12 years, which is to have these special assessment districts and then determine what the cost for each of those districts will be.
But however, with the new lights, it can eventually go down, correct?
Correct, Madam Chair and Councilman, you're correct. On that topic, we did receive a phone call this morning. Actually, went to Ed Bursine, he brought it over to my attention. Taxpayers are aware that DTE is replacing the lights along Telegraph Road as their first step to put LED lights in the neighborhood.
Which are cheaper.
And they are cheaper.
Upgrade.
And the question was, so you're doing a public hearing for necessity to charge me for a street light LED that you're putting down Telegraph. And I said, no, that's not correct. I said, you always pay for street lighting. What's happening is there is no charge to the taxpayer for the painting of the poles and the erecting of the new, swapping out the lights. That's all being paid by either Tifa or in the cost by Edison's already charging them. What we will see, Councilman, to your question, as the LED lights are swapped out, or swapped in, if you will, the rates do decrease. And what I would expect, and this is a question I don't have an answer for, is we've gotten two different answers from Edison that I need to confirm, because I don't want to mislead myself or mislead the taxpayer or city council. But DTE appears to be telling City of Taylor that the new light rates for LED will not take effect until all the LED lights are put in a certain district. And that could be like along Telegraph Court, as one thought. I think that's not correct, but I don't know. I need to find that out before I make any.
Well, because on that bill we looked at, we automatically already started seeing cost savings just on the lit LEDs that are put out there, unless they were all done in a certain district or a corridor or whatever.
Correct.
So, okay.
Can you, just for starters, can you say the increase from DTE will result in an average percent for the homeowner?
I can. We've already calculated from 2015, what the city paid, to 2016. It's an 8.5% increase overall as a complete average for the entire city of Taylor. Part of that 8.5% increase, we have heard that Edison has already built in a 5% rate increase. I believe that's being challenged, and we may see that rate decrease, but we won't know that until the spring of 2017. But to your point, yes, we can build on what we know to be true based on our bills, is that our rates have increased.
Right.
And we can address that at least initially. Sorry,
I
Madam Chair.
think Dan's point too is to make people aware of the consequences. If we don't have this special assessment, it's still going to be paid for, but from the general fund or somewhere else. So it's not like we're not agreeing to not paying, it's just we're agreeing to make it a separate.
Right, and we're going
Line
to
on our
charge
tax
the taxpayers back for what they're benefiting from.
Your comment about not seeing any savings from LED until the whole district is replaced doesn't make any sense, so
It doesn't, trust me. I had a discussion with Glenn Wojak this morning, and he was indicating to me here, one comment from Edison is as the light goes in, you'll see a rate change. And we see that right now on our utility bills.
Right, that's how we
We
break
have-
it down. We got this many 400 watts, this many.
Right.
If they swap one of those out, the price has got to change. It would make no sense. They'd be charging us for something that we're not doing or not using.
Yes, and
Okay.
we all are in agreement. The last conversation that Edison, Diane, she was, Deborah King from Edison, seemed to indicate that the rates would not show up on the tax bill until a district or a complete set of lights have been swapped out. So again, until I see the monthly bill, I'm speculating, but we'll try and zero down Edison tomorrow before a city council meeting.
You can forward that to us if you get a definitive
In
answer.
the moment I have an answer, if
I
city
suppose
council
it's more of an administrative savings than having and changing the rate each time one light fixture's changed or one light bulb's changed.
You know, we do see on the monthly bill, it tells me how many 400 watt we have, how many LEDs we have. And those numbers, I would expect, will change on a monthly basis as they turn them out. And then when they do, our monthly rate will have to decrease. Now, unfortunately, the city of Taylor, the rates that we're adopting today are based on the last 8 months of rates. When a rate is established in December of this year, it will be the last 9 months from January 1, 2016 through like September 2016 is what we are charging them back for.
Well, and that makes sense, that we're charging based on that historical data, but when we get an itemized bill that says there's 200 of these and 400 of these, if 400 go to 200 and we have a cheaper option, they've got to change what they're charging us. I mean, there'd be no way for that bill to not look different, and then we would pass along that savings to taxpayers when we do our assessment the following tax
You
year.
have the following,
So
yes.
if for some reason they're going to continue to charge us for a higher priced light that we're not using, that would make no sense to me.
About the same thing, and to be honest with you, I think that's wrong, because you think about it, if you replace something more efficient, they're charging us by the electricity used, so we're not using as much electricity, so,
That's the whole
I mean, we
point.
would immediately see that savings, I would think, so. You never know with something.
So did they charge us by the district that we have, or we just separated ourselves?
We separated it ourselves. They give us a monthly bill for the number of lights that are in the city of Taylor.
Any other questions for Jerry on this? By the way, Michelle just reminded me that on November 1st, we're going to have the study and the council on the same day because the 31st is Halloween.
I didn't know if she would say something at the end in case we forgot.
I did.